back to day 3. I'm Theresa Bassett. I'm your host for this JumpStart Challenge. And this is an important 5 days of the year for me. And I hope it becomes an important 5 days of the year for you. We do this once in the spring, once in the fall. And it's a free event, an opportunity for you to just really get refocused, re-energized for the upcoming quarters ahead. In this case, in the fall, really to end the year strong and then cruise into the new year. In this case, 2023 is right on the horizon, with a running start, right? With some actual momentum, because that action breeds action. And it's so much easier. We talked about this yesterday. So much easier to have a running start as opposed to have to overcome all the inertia at the front end and get going from a dead stop on January 2nd or 3rd and face a list of resolutions. It's great to refocus on goals, but even better to have a running start on the year and to feel really aligned with those goals already. Hi, Nina. I just saw your video in the group. Thank you so much. It was so wonderful to hear your voice and see your face. And thank you to you for being with me through all 4 of these challenges. It's just been you've been such a blessing to me and to everybody in this group. I want to tell you that, everybody that you've touched knows that you care. And I know that you care, and it really means a lot. It really means a lot to me. I've had people tell me it means a lot to them. So thank you. And you're right on. You said something in that video, and I have to admit, I only got about 3 minutes and 50 seconds into it, and then I had to hop into here. But you said something in that, which is you're facing this clarity tool again, right? But things have changed. Things have changed. So I really want to challenge you to not look at these exercises as same old, right? Every season of our life is a little bit different. They require different things from us. The first day we talked about getting into motion. The second day, we talked about the mental game and mindset, because it is so important to take care of this real estate right here. And so I want to acknowledge a couple people for doing their homework. Matt Alfonso, I don't know if you're out there, but awesome job, sir. I know you saw my comments in the chat, but I just thank you for your transparency, your honesty. It's obvious that you have been thinking about this stuff for some time, and it sounds like you help other people think about this stuff too. So you're my kind of guy. I know that you're building something, and I'm a builder. I love people that are building brands, building businesses, building nonprofits, building missions, building their bodies to be stronger, building strong families, building strong communities, right? And as a result, building a stronger world around them. By first taking responsibility for what's right here, right? And that's not easy to do. So often it's easier to say, well, I just wish that the world was a better place. I just wish that our political system was better. I just wish that, my health was better. And it's just so easy to point it all out here. This JumpStart Challenge is actually about pointing it in here, right? Because the JumpStart starts with you. If you want to jumpstart your family, you want to jumpstart your community, you want to jumpstart your business or your organization, you want to bring new energy to the table in any single sphere that you touch, right? Any relationship that you touch, it starts with you, right? If it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? And that kind of radical responsibility is not easy. And so we talked about really continuous improvement, right? Staying dedicated to that personal and professional development. And Matt, it's obvious you're doing it. So, sir, you won a gift card, and you posted a video. And so I'm also going to award you a John Maxwell planner. I don't know if you follow John Maxwell. I've followed him for many, many years. And he has awesome tools and trainings and awesome coaches in his circle as well, and has really given so much back to the management and the leadership community as a whole. So Matt, 2 gifts for you. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for your video. Rita, I know you were a little bit confused, and I'm sorry guys for the lack of clarity about the exercises. I actually realized, you're welcome, Matt. I see your comment. Absolutely. And thank you back to you. I actually realized that one of the things I'm going to do for upcoming challenges, I'm going to go into the workbook and number the exercises. I think it's a simple, small step that we can take that would help clarify the homework for the day and make it super, super clear. So thank you for voicing, any lack of clarity around the exercises, because it's going to help me improve the challenge in the future. So, but Rita, I gave you, the opportunity to post a picture instead of a video if you wanted, and you rose to the challenge. It was so nice to see your smiling face and you with that victorious pose after that run. You are an inspiration, I know, to so many people around you. You were an inspiration to people in this group during the last challenge, and so much so today. So you also are going to get a planner sent with your gift card from yesterday, the Nike gift card. And so Lillian has that sitting on her desk. We're going to mail that out, toot sweet, and we're going to include the planner. So Matt, you've got some gifts coming to you, and Rita, you have some gifts coming to you, and Nina, all the way overseas, you got some more gifts coming to you, my dear. I know that gift cards are a little hard when I send them to Europe, because I'm not sure. I think even Amazon, you might have to use a different card. I'm not sure. But we're going to figure out how to get you the dollar value for an Amazon gift card to you. And I'm also going to pop this book in the mail to you. I don't know if you've ever read The Big Leap, but it is a wonderful book by Gay Hendricks. I just read it again, and I always get so much about it from it. But in particular, I think you'll really like chapter 3, where it talks about the triggers for upper limiting and the limits we place on ourselves. And sometimes those triggers are subconscious. You wanted to buy it so often? Well, now you don't have to. So I'm sending you another book. I think this is a challenge. The 4th challenge you've received a book, maybe? I don't know. But I just was I was feeling that. Today. I was feeling like, I want Nina to read this book because I think she's really going to get a lot out of it. So there you go. I'm actually going to make this book required reading, I think, for a couple of chapters of it anyways, for my new team members. When I recruit employees, I think, together we rise up, we get stronger. I think this is important reading for everybody. So Nina, this is coming to you. And for anybody that hasn't read that book yet or looked into it, I highly encourage, if nothing else, read the first 3 chapters. Okay. So yeah, we talked yesterday about that mental game and mindset and just really contributing to your own personal growth and journey, intentionally, consciously, consistently, persistently, longer obedience in the same direction, really making sure that we stay committed to that journey. And sometimes that might make us uncomfortable in our friend set, or uncomfortable in our families, or uncomfortable in our companies. I'll tell you what, when you start growing and changing, people around you get riled up, right? Couple things. One, they really love you, and they want to make sure that the changes that you're making or that you're endeavoring to make aren't going to put you in any kind of harm's way, right? They really want you to stay safe. And so sometimes they show up as, slightly dubious or cynical, or even sometimes can come across as a little negative, because they actually silently are saying, "Are you sure you're going to be okay?" Right? And so I understand that, but just see it for what it is. Those people love you and care about you. That fact doesn't change just because you're changing. They just want to make sure that you're going to be safe. Okay. And it doesn't mean we have to shrink back down. It just means that we have to help them navigate the changes, just as we're helping ourselves navigate the changes, right? It's not easy breezy all the time, right? But sometimes you actually do find that the people around you see you a certain way, because they've always seen you that way. And as you grow and as you change, you're just not on the same wavelength anymore. I'm watching my college-age kids go through this a little bit with their friend set, right? There was a little bit more of a fun freewheeling stage at the beginning of college, and now they're in the throes of it, and they have to be a bit more serious about their studies. And they can't afford to squander their energy on Saturday night because that infects them on Sunday, and then they cruise into the week feeling not so hot, right? Sometimes energetically. And so it backs all the way up to, oh, wow, well, who do I need to hang out with, or what do I need to be doing on Saturday so I can show up on Monday feeling my best? And that is not easy, guys. That's not easy because your peer set, right? I mean, those are your friends. You like hanging out with them. They're fun, right? And so what happens when the people that you always surround yourself, the fun ones, you know, maybe their values, maybe their activities just aren't supporting the highest and best you in this season for what you need right now. It's really hard to take ownership over that. And it's really challenging to grow through that, not just with the people around you, but yourself. Sometimes in that process of transition, there's a gap, a little bit of a void where you don't have the new people to hang out with yet, but you've had to separate yourself from the old people. And there's a little bit of a lonely gap in here, right? I know it's uncomfortable to have that gap in that growth transition. But I want to tell you, no matter what your belief system, God is in the gaps, right? I say that over and over. In these places and spaces of waiting, of indecision, of lack of clarity, there is grace in those spaces. And sometimes in that quiet space, maybe it's less activity, maybe it's less socialness. That's sometimes where you get the most insight. That's sometimes where you get the opportunity to nurture yourself deeply, right? Sometimes that's your opportunity to learn, what does it mean to really take care of myself, right? And I'm seeing my son grapple with some of these questions and ask himself some of those questions because he is in his very DNA a rock star, and he wants to continue to be a rock star, and he wants to feel like a rock star. He wants to be, he wants to feel great, and he wants to show up feeling great for all the activities and the people in his life. And so it is uncomfortable in those spaces, and you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable to get through those spaces. Otherwise, what you'll do is you'll get in that space where there's that lull, that gap, and then you'll shrink right back. You'll go right back to your default because you don't know what else to do with yourself, right? Pick up a book. Turn off the TV for a minute, unplug from the news, plug into a new podcast that you've never listened to. Give yourself an intentional space for something new. I'll tell you why it's important. For the very reason that we talked about, that we're going to talk about Mojo today, right? You guys, your Mojo, your swagger, your confidence in your life is a critical factor. And I would say that confidence has been probably my number one challenge my entire life. You might say, wow, I wouldn't think that. You're on camera. You have no idea how much inertia I had to overcome to get to this place. And trust me, it wasn't an overnight process, right? I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I still can't even stand to hear my own voice. On video, I can't stand to watch it back. And some of that is connected to confidence issues, right? Like, oh, well, what do I have to say that anybody wants to hear, right? But the reality of it is that when I'm in my highest and best place, I know that I have value. I know that I have value to the people around me. I know that my joy and my happiness and my peace and my learning and my best self has value to the people around me and to the people on my team and to the people in my family. And I feel great about sharing myself from that place, right? So if you look back in your emails, you'll talk way back at prior to day one, we talked about you showing up for this challenge. And then I talked about you showing up, right? The difference between you and you, and that can seem like, what's that mean? You guys, if you've ever had a day where you got out of bed and you were undeniably feeling your swagger, right? You were feeling calm. You were feeling confident. You weren't a swirling dervish, busy. You are just, I know what to do and I'm going to do it now. And you're just plowing forward, feeling good, feeling like you're in the flow. Guys, that being in the flow feeling, that's the goal. What if everything that you wanted to do and the road to doing it was more fun? What if you were excited to do it? What if it wasn't just I should or I want to? What if it was I get to? I'm excited to do it, right? I in that email I included that song "Unstoppable" by Sia. I don't know who listened to that song today. I ran into that song yesterday when I was in on Apple Music. I was in the car and I thought, oh my gosh, this is what a perfect song. Now I knew I couldn't play it on this video because Facebook will shut me down faster than my head can spin. But it's a perfect song for today, right? Because she's saying, watch me while I put on my armor because today I'm unstoppable, right? That's exactly what we talked about yesterday. The momentum warrior circle, that's exactly what being a warrior is all about, right? Being bulletproof, being so equipped for the challenge, for the journey ahead, not just being equipped for whatever, whack-a-mole moment you might need to respond to, but looking for the growth opportunities, looking for the challenges, registering for a challenge, such as this, right? You didn't have to do that. That was elective. What in you motivated you to show up for yourself for this challenge, right? There's something in you that knows that you can do more, that you can do better, that you can continuously improve and be an even better version of yourself day in and day out, right? And when you do that, when you find that place of quiet, calm confidence, it's fun. It's really fun. You guys, I want to give you some tools, some life hacks, if you will, for getting in that space, staying in that space. I'm particularly interested in staying more often in that space. And the reason I say that is we touch it sometimes for moments, right? We touch it and then it seems to go. And it's like, wow, what was the magic combination of elements? Maybe it was a victory or a triumph or you accomplished something and you can touch it for a moment and then it just fades away. Guys, we're getting ready to endeavor into a 90-day sprint for the fall, and we're going to cruise all the way from September 19th to December 19th. Those are actual calendar days on the calendars on Monday till Monday, okay? Do you think that in those 90 days that you aren't going to hit some wall-kicking moments? Do you think in the 90 days that you aren't going to hit some days when you just don't feel like getting out of bed? Do you think that in 90 days that you're gonna think to yourself, why the heck what am I sprinting towards anyways? Nothing will be any different. Nothing that I do is gonna move the needle. Nothing that I do is gonna make a significant enough difference. That income that I want, I don't think I can do it. That travel that I want to take, I don't see how I'm gonna do that, right? You're gonna get overwhelmed by the hows so many times in this sprint that I can't even count them, right? You have to be able to do something. You have to have some tools in your tool bag so that you can hear that how monster. That's a good name for it. I just came up with that. That how monster raise up his head, and you got to have some tools for whacking him on the head. You got to have some tools in your tool bag so that you don't lose your swagger, right? There's actually a Beyonce song on her Homecoming album. I think it's like the third song in or something. And she talks about getting this group of artists. She went to wanted to go to a college, couldn't go to a college that she wanted to because she went straight into Destiny's Child. And she said, my university was Destiny's Child. I traveled all over the world with this singing group. And basically it was education by fire, right? And she said, I always wanted to have a Black orchestra. And I always wanted to have these amazing group of musicians in a room. And here she was preparing that album was her preparing for Coachella, right? And she got all these people in a room that she wanted, drum corps and, amazing horn players and her orchestra and her choir. And I mean, and she goes, there's so much swag. I just can't even believe it. Right? You guys, there is a place where creativity lives inside of you, that builder in you that is building towards the next best thing in your life that has that kind of mojo. And I want you to live as often as possible in that space, right? I want you to live in that calm, confident, excited, I get to work on it place. Because if you feel blessed by the opportunity to work on whatever it is that you're building, you are going to have unlimited energy for it. You are going to have limitless creativity. You are going to be your most resourceful, right? Tony Robbins is famous for saying there's no lack of resources, it's only a lack of resourcefulness. You guys, if you want something enough, you will find a way. You will make a way. Right? I know that because you are a co-creator. You were made in the image of the creator. What did he say to you? Create with me, right? Create with your words, create with your energy, create in the world, make the world a better place. The reason that you want to build something is because it's baked into your DNA. And when you're operating at that highest level in that place of mojo, it's a natural outcoming. It's a natural outcropping. That's why I said in that email that I just sent, it's not an if, it's just a matter of when. It's science, right? If you put enough intentionality of thought and you put enough intentionality of action together, you will get intentional results. But if you want to sit on the sidelines and watch life go by and wish and just watch other people living on YouTube or watch other people live on Instagram, then it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. Nobody's going to show up at your doorstep with a camera crew and say, "Hey, I really think that I should give you this BMW and park it in your driveway." Right? Nobody's going to do that. That's not going to happen. Right? If there's something that you want and you know that you know that you know that that desire was placed in you and has been in you for a long time, whatever it is, for everyone it's something different, right? Nina, you're a dancer and a painter and an artist, right? You have desires in you that were planted in you when you were a baby, long before you even knew that what those desires were, that were planted in you, that make you completely unique. You're a snowflake, right? And I don't have the same desires, but I have desires that were planted in me long before I knew what those desires were, right? That make me a snowflake, right? And our job on this planet is to be my job is to be the meest version of me. Because guess what? I don't want to be a carbon copy of even the people that I learned from. I don't want to be the next Tony Robbins. I want to be the best Theresa Bassett. Honestly, I mean, I have so much I can learn from Tony Robbins, and I have so much I can learn from Dean Graziosi and John Maxwell and Gay Hendricks and Jim Collins and all of these people. But there's probably people in the world that want to hear something unique from me, something about my experience, right? And I only can touch that place when I'm in that place. Yeah, snowflake power, Nina. Absolutely. I want you to be the youiest version of you. I want you to be the youiest version of you because we need you. We need your uniqueness, making this world a better place, because you're going to make this world a better place in only the way that you can do it, right? I cannot do it for you. Emily says, one of my favorite mantras is no one is going to fight for your dreams more than you. You get to be the active creator of your own life. Absolutely. Not only do you get to be the active creator, you get to be the active director, script writer, main actor, and creator of your own life. It's your show, right? But so many times we're sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to happen. Well, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Let's take the steps that we need to take so that we have the most mojo that we can have and walk through the day with that kind of confidence, with that kind of swagger, not from a prideful, egotistical place, from a place of calm, knowing that we matter, that we have value. Now, I trust that I have that kind of value, and this isn't I'm not here to impose my faith on anyone, but I do have a very spiritual, powerful relationship with the Lord of the universe, right? And I know that I have value because of that relationship. I don't know what it is for you, but I know that for me, that gives me an unlimited well that I can dip into, right? But there's times when you're going to hit those hang-ups and bang-ups, when you're going to have those wall-kicking moments, when you're going to have that moment when you don't want to get out of bed, or when the how monster is bapping you over the head. And you're going to have those moments, and you're going to have to go somewhere. You're going to have to dip into something, okay? And I'm going to call that place that you dip into your love bucket. I'm going to call it your love bucket because it's you and the things that you love, and it allows you to love because because it's coming from love and is of love, and it goes back to love, right? It's love in and love out, right? If I put water in the bucket, water's coming out of the bucket. If I'm putting love in the bucket, love's coming out of the bucket, right? And when you love something, when you love your work, when you love what you're building, you're going to have limitless potential in front of you. You're going to have limitless energy, limitless resourcefulness. Yes, there's a bound on resources, right? But just the ones that are right in front of you, it's limitless, the resources you can touch, right? With enough time and enough intentionality and enough clarity. Ahmad, good to see you. And thank you for your email, by the way. I'm sorry to hear about, everything that's going on in Pakistan. I know it's not an easy state of affairs, and I applaud you for spending time getting your eyes off the news, the political scene, the natural disasters, the hardship, and putting your eyes on something you can influence and affect directly, which is your own attitude and your own space. And I know sometimes it's hard when you got a boss looking over your shoulder to do that. So even if it means going back to the recordings, whatever it is, and if it's not me, then plug into somebody else that is saying something that you feel is valuable, right? So glad you're here. Come on. So I want you to see that love bucket, and I want you to know that when you have that love bucket full, that it'll overflow. When you have it so full from whatever sources it is that feed your spirit, that there's going to be no choice than for it to flow naturally out of you. You guys, this is how it is. Like, I don't know if anybody has kids out there, but this is how I feel about my kids and my family, right? My love bucket is so full of love for my kids. I don't have to try and make myself love them. When they enter the room, it's like your whole body just lights up, right? I feel like that when my husband enters the room. I'm so in love with him that I just light up like a Christmas tree inside. And I'm just so happy to see him. I'm almost like, sometimes I even pretend I'm like a dog in my tail wags, right? I'm just happy. I'm just in love with them. And so it fills my love bucket to be with them. But it also helps that I do other things to feed that love bucket so that I'm not dipping from an empty well, right? I take walks. I eat great food, healthy food for my body. I drink pure water, a lot of it, right? I mean, one of the most common problems we have in our health, and they link a lot of chronic disease back to an acidic body, right? An acidic body, in part because we don't have enough alkaline food and alkaline water to rebalance our state inside, right? So you got to have healthy water, healthy food for your body. You got to be able to nourish yourself on a deep level, right? Movement, that 20 minutes a day, minimum. You guys, we need it. We need the dopamine. We need the serotonin. We have to move our bodies. Use it or lose it, right? If you have a desk job, especially, I would challenge you that you've got to double that 20 minutes. If you have a desk job, every bit of your ligaments, your joints, your muscles, they freeze up, right? They actually contract, right? You'll notice people sitting at their desk and their shoulders are slumped over, right? We have to move. We have to expand our bodies. We have to stretch, right? So I fill my love bucket every day with these things that are healthy for me. Okay. One of your homework items for tonight is going to be to write down your love list. Okay. I referred to this a couple days ago. Okay. These are the top 10 or 20 things that you can do to raise your vibration, immediately, to tap into some joy, to pull into the zone of your mojo. Okay. What is it for you? For me, yeah, going in a bookstore, right? Getting out in nature, taking my shoes off and putting my toes in the sand, right? Jumping in the water. I love to swim. I love the water. I love the sound of the waves. Just putting myself around the sound of the waves is like a giant sound bath. I literally physically can feel myself just get stronger. I don't know any way to describe it, right? I think it's one of the reasons that so many people are, they just gravitate towards the sea or the mountains, right? Like we need time in nature, right? Music. Oh my goodness, I can't live without music, right? I love all kinds of music. I love symphonic music. I love country music. I love rap music. I'm from Detroit. I love Eminem. I don't know what to say, right? I love music. Music motivates me. It moves me, right? That's a huge item on my love bucket. Now put me in a convertible on a pretty road and put the top down and then blare the music on a sunny day with a little breeze blowing. Oh yeah, that's like at the top of the love bucket, right? Put me on a pier with a beautiful breeze overlooking the ocean with a beautiful meal. I'm a foodie. Eating by the water is at the top of the love bucket list, right? Now add a person that I love eating with me, and I'm like, that's kind of like bliss. that's like bliss. So you have to know for you, if I'm having one of those sluggish, muggish kind of days, then I got to go to my love bucket. Oh, another thing for me, very simple. Blank notebooks. Oh, here's the camera. I can go to the dollar store and I can buy a blank notebook for 98 cents. And this is a blank slate, guys. I could create a whole new life on here. I could start a new business. I could plan a new house. I could move to 3 different countries. I don't know. You can do a million things with a blank piece of paper, right? Just write stuff down. Write down your schemes and dreams. Guys, a blank notebook is on my love bucket list. Write your love bucket list, the things that really fill you, the things that really feed you. Maybe it's time with loved ones, right? Do you need time to just sit with your family and talk, or your loved one, your spouse, or your partner, or your best friend, or your child? Put that on your list. And when you're having one of those days, recognize that you're having it first. Like, oh, wait a minute. My vibration's a bit low here, right? I'm not showing up as you. I'm showing up as me, right? And then get intentional about what can I do to shift it, right? So first you got to notice it, and then you have to ask yourself how you want to shift it. How are you going to shift it? And I firmly recommend that you have a few things on this list that literally will take 10 minutes or less to shift it. I'm not always in a place that I can jump in a Barnes and Noble into a bookstore, right? I'm not always in a place that I can grab a new book, even. I'm not always in a place that I can take my shoes off and run by the ocean, right? But I'm almost always in a place with a blank piece of paper. I will tell you, because I am dedicated to carrying a blank notebook around with me. I also use the notes field in my phone because that operates kind of the same for me. And I can literally go back to that place, that blank piece of paper, to the world of possibility, and I can start co-creating something new, and I'm instantly lifted. Instantly. That's a trick I use with myself all the time. In fact, January 1st of every new year, I started a Google Doc. Just open a new document. I call it Journal 2022, Journal 2023, and it's a dump zone for everything I'm thinking, all my schemes and dreams, any kinks in my garden hose. Oh, I'm kind of feeling anxious about this. I'm kind of irritated about this. I give it a second, and then I move into solutions, right? And I do that right on paper, and I jot it down. And all year long, it's just a running journal, page after page after page of just thoughts, feelings, ideas, to-dos, right? Write it down. That's my love bucket. That's part of my love bucket. It's a big part of my love bucket. And if I go a few days and I haven't recalibrated, realigned, then I know I probably haven't been writing enough. I haven't been going into that document enough, if nothing else, or producing anything else that I'm writing, because writing always lifts my spirits. So I know for me, and write those two words down: recalibrate, realign. Recalibrate, realign. Right? If the alignment goes out in your car and all of a sudden your car is drifting off to the shoulder of the road, right? You just keep driving it like that forever. What happens if you do that? What happens if you just keep the car and you keep it misaligned? If you keep the car misaligned, your tires start wearing out in weird places. You get less gas efficiency in your car, and it's a lot more work to keep it on the road, right? You're like constantly veering off. And so your arms get tired too, because if you're driving on the highway a long ways, you got to keep pulling the car back in. It's a lot more work to get back, right? No, what do? You see that your car's out of alignment, and instead of going through months and months of wear on your tires and lack of gas efficiency and all that, you go to the shop and you realign the car. You realign the tires, right? You guys recalibrate, realign. How do you do that? You go to your love bucket. It sounds so simple, but it's the application of it that is actually the not simple part, because it takes reflection. And when you're in the moment and the irritating thing happens, or the how monster pops up its head to discourage you and overwhelm you, right? Then you got to bap it pretty quick. It's the application in the moment, because sometimes it's showing up and it's not convenient to realign yourself right then. But you have to see it really quick. You got to it's like a muscle. You just got to get used to it. And I promise you that the things that irritated you before, if you keep going back to the well, keep going back to the bucket, keep going back to the bucket, keep going, guys, if you have to do it every 12 minutes, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, because this is an internal process. Why do you want to do that? Because the results of your life matter, right? Because you matter. Because you, being in the most powerful, most creative, most loving, most joyful, most peaceful place that you could live from, you're going to build better stuff from that place. You're going to attract better stuff from that place. Do you ever hear the expression, you attract what you are, not what you want? If I'm all frumpy and dumpy and all Eeyore, I'm going to attract a bunch of Eeyores, right? Have you ever watched Eeyore and then put them right up next to Tigger or Pooh, right? Do you want to be an Eeyore and attract a bunch of Eeyores, or do you want to be a Tigger, right? Do you want to be bouncy, flouncy, trouncy, full of fun, right? I want to be fun. I want to have fun. I don't want to hang around a bunch of Eeyores. I don't want to be an Eeyore. I don't even think I could be an Eeyore if I tried, quite honestly, but it doesn't work. And the minute that, I hire somebody and I realize a couple weeks later that they're an Eeyore, it doesn't usually work out very long. One, they can't stand me. I drive them to, irritate them to distraction, and they irritate me to distraction, because you're not going to change the Eeyores in your life. It's really attractive to think you can, that if you just tell them often enough, to feel better, that they eventually will. Guys, it doesn't work like that. I will say that if the higher energy and the lower energy are in the same room, the lower energy tends to win, because the higher energy person is actually typically more sympathetic and empathetic, And they're going to naturally go down to this level and go, how can I help you? Right? Oh, tell me about your day. Right? It doesn't mean that compassion isn't necessary or good. It just means that the more empathetic person starts to calibrate down to this person's level so they can meet them where they're at. It doesn't work the other way. So you could get in a room and try and convince your spouse to feel better or think positively or whatever, or come out of something like this and then go tell them how it works. It's not going to work. You're going to have to show up and take responsibility for you and this real estate, and you got to let them worry about their real estate. You really do. And you'll save yourself a lot of time and hassle, and you'll probably save yourself some relationship energy, honestly. Right? I used to think that if I just love them enough, I could change them on some level, that I could make them happier. It doesn't work. It doesn't really work. So, but the good news is that you can realign, recalibrate, realign, go back to that love bucket over and over and over, and you have the power to be the youiest you can be. And then naturally people will go, oh, what are you eating for breakfast? What are you doing? I know. How come you're so happy? Where are your challenges? It's so interesting because I've had people over and over, say to me, will you make it look easy? I'm like, well, making it look easy and it being easy are two different things, right? I have all kinds of hang-ups and bang-ups and things that I struggle with. Every day stuff happens. But I was just talking to my husband about this yesterday, and one of the big differences is I don't talk about it that much, right? I mean, my kids get flat tires and I have to go out of my way and it's inconvenient and I have to spend money I don't want to and blah, 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 blah. There's always stuff. There's always stuff. People getting sick, people, needing things from you, having to say no to things not working out, trying things that don't work, having people not say yes when you think they're going to say yes, right? I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen in my life every single day that I don't like, that I wouldn't ask for, but I don't talk about it. I don't give it oxygen. I literally starve it out, and I go to my love bucket and I pull out the things that do matter, that I am building, that I am enjoying. Yeah, what you talk about, you give energy to. Absolutely. So why don't I want to give my energy to the things that make me feel more love, more peace, more joy? Right? Why don't I want to give my energy to the things that make me feel more enthusiastic, not more discouraged? Right? I'm very, very conscious about where I spend my energy and where I put my work. And I've gotten a lot better at just when I feel like I'm not gonna win in an argument, I just be quiet. Sometimes I still don't be quiet fast enough, honestly. And I'm still learning this, but just give your energy where you want your energy. Put your energy where you want more, not where you want less, right? And it'll make a huge, huge difference. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it's 2:44. You guys, this time just absolutely flies. Look, I want you to calibrate to that level of mojo as often as you can. And tomorrow we're going to talk about money, and Saturday we're going to talk about momentum. Really achieving momentum and staying in momentum. And this mojo piece is important. And that mental game and mindset piece is important. And that motion piece is important. So tonight you have to make your love bucket list. You got to stay in motion at least those 20 minutes. Okay. And then in your JumpStart workbook, and I am going to take a couple more minutes to find this. Let's see. Where are we going here? In this JumpStart workbook. Okay. So we had the clarity tool. Your why was last night. Amazing at what you're already good at. Matt, yes, you're already a good speaker and a coach, and you're going to work even more at being even better. What we're talking about here is actually also addressed in the Big Leap, because you want to spend more time in the zone of your excellence and your genius than you do in the zone of your competence or incompetence, right? I could talk about that for a long, long time, but essentially We spend a lot of energy trying to get good at what we're naturally bad at, when we should be spending more energy on what we're already naturally good at and getting even better at that, right? The world rewards specialists, and actually pays specialists. And so what you're naturally already good at, you should be doing more of that, right? And that typically is also where your joy is, because we tend to enjoy things we do better. I'm a really lousy accountant, I can tell you that. And I spend exactly 0 minutes of every single day trying to be a better accountant. Zero. Forget all the rules. If society had nothing to do with it and you weren't afraid about the income and you weren't afraid of what other people thought about it, what would you do? And then right below it, all the limiting beliefs and the effects. Okay. So this is a perfect exercise for tonight, because your limiting beliefs are a lot of the things that are standing between you and that mojo, that place of confidence and calm and charisma, right? That place of enthusiasm, of happiness and joy and peace. You have things that are working on a subconscious level that are holding you back from that, and the things that are working on a conscious level. And so here, this is the next. I'm only going to do this homework for tonight, the tale of two pictures exercise, okay? Other than the love bucket, and other than this limiting belief, okay? So these two pieces. The tale of two pictures exercise is, this is what the old me used to do and how the old me used to show up. And this is the way the new me is going to show up, okay? Now, the new you should be your mojo self. That should be the youiest you, right? Not the you, the you. So I want you to, when you're doing this exercise, I want you to be able to see that version of yourself. I know that version of yourself. You've already seen that person. I know they've showed up. It might have just been that they've, you say, well, they show up at a dance party and maybe after I've had a cocktail or two. I'm not talking about that you. I'm not talking about the inebriated you. I'm talking about the you that is the happiest, most enthusiastic, most confident you, that knows they have something to give, is clear about giving it, and is sure that they can plow through any obstacles to be able to give it. Okay. I know that you is in you. And that's what you want to write a description of. Okay. So we've got some more prizes to give. I don't know where. Yeah, we've got some more prizes to give. I actually have 2 Amazon gift cards. Okay. Amazon gift cards I chose for today because Amazon, when they first started out, okay, guys, if you ever get to read the story of Amazon, I don't know everything about their story, but I know this. For the first 15 years, they lost copious amounts of money. Right? Losses, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Because they had a vision of what they were building to, and they wanted to be the 800-pound gorilla in the marketplace. Okay? And to do that, they knew that there was a big gap between where they were just starting and where they were going to go, right? Starting, 800-pound gorilla, huge gap. And in that gap, they had to convince enough people of the vision to get through the gap to keep throwing money at it to be able to build to the 800-pound gorilla, right? So this company, we all know how successful Amazon is, right? Goodness, what would we have done in the age of COVID without Amazon, right? They positioned themselves perfectly for their moment in time, right? Because for all those years, they were willing to take those losses, right? For the big picture, they had a crystal clear picture that they were moving towards, right? This is what comes with confidence, with mojo, right? When they stake a claim to a peak and they're going to get there no matter what, right? You have the ability to do that, okay? I'm going to give out some Amazon gift cards for people that do this homework. Limiting beliefs, filling your love bucket, okay? The old you, new you, okay? So in a future challenge, those exercises will be numbered, but I'm not going to take the time right now to figure out what the numbers they are. I just want you to identify those exercises. You just saw them in there, and I want to give you something. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about money. Why are we going to talk about money? Money is an extremely important form of energy and resource, and it helps you build things. right? It helps you build things. It helps you do things. I firmly believe that money makes you, if more money just makes you more of what you already are. Yeah? So if you are a greedy, stingy person, more money is probably going to make you more fearful of losing it all, and you might be even less generous. If you are a very generous person, more money is going to make you even more generous, and it's going to give you the ability to give to the charity of your choices, to give to the people that you want to give to, and you're going to keep that flow moving. You're going to keep moving that energy through your life. Okay. Guys, we're going to talk about money because it's very important. It's one of the things that can literally, like, not just kink the garden hose, but just make you feel like you are in a less than resourceful state. Okay. When you are the youiest you are resourceful, right? When you feel a lack of resources, right? So this all ties in with the mental game and the mindset piece. It all ties in with confidence, right? And mojo. But money is in of itself a huge area of concern for a lot of people. And we're going to talk about the importance of investing versus spending. And we're going to talk about money, how to bring more money into your life by giving more value. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. It's very important. Day 4. So stay tuned. And I hinted at it in the very, very beginning, but I'm also going to talk about just a couple ways, easy ways that you can invest in yourself and continue to invest in yourself in the journey. Some of them require money, some of them don't. And so that's good. As I said before, my job is just to show you the buffet, and you get to pick off of it what you want. I'm going to be with you throughout the 90-day sprint, irregardless if you choose to endeavor into it. But there are some pretty cool ways that you can dive deeper, roll up your sleeves, link arms with me and my team, have more accountability, more cadence, more momentum. It's kind of like putting Crisco on the tracks and speeding everything up during your sprint. And it's super, super cool opportunity. So I'm going to share that with you. There's also some self-paced learning opportunities that I'm going to talk to you about. Also super cool and works really well for people that, maybe you just get your free time at night, after your day gig, and you just need to be able to plug into the videos when you need to plug in, and you can't really be accountable to a group. Everybody's in a different place, right? And I get that, but what's important is that you keep investing in yourself, that you keep investing in your dreams, and that you keep building towards those dreams. That's going to keep fueling the momentum. So we're going to talk about some opportunities to do that. I will say that I had about 5 opportunities total for one-on-one coaching. That is actually not my big goal here. Quite honestly, I'm building several companies, and I have some big visions for those organizations, and I don't have a lot of one-on-one time. I do actually have 2 spaces available, but I no longer have 5. So I wanted to let you know about that. That is not the pitch. But I'm going to give you some other lower cost opportunities and ways to tap in, where you still get access to me, you still get access to other great people on my team, and we get to link arms and really put that Crisco on the track. So I'll tell you more about that over the next couple days. But for tonight, the most important thing you could do is to figure out what fuels your fire. You did that why exercise. What fills your love bucket? And then get ferociously committed to taking care of this real estate and filling that love bucket. That's the very best thing you could do for me. And that's the very best thing you could do for yourself. And that's the very best thing you could do for your fellow momentum warriors, right? So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Please, please, please know that to get the Amazon gift cards, you need to post a picture or a video, preferably a video, along with some information about your exercises. So I'm up in the ante. I'm keeping that ante high. Matt, you were brilliant, and I loved seeing that video. So I need more of that. That really lights me up. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow at 2:00. And in the meantime, if you need any support or assistance with workbooks or anything else, on Saturday, we're going to be sending out the primer for the 90-day sprint. So make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end of this challenge. Don't lose your steam, right? It's really easy to quit after day 2 or 3. Don't lose your steam, okay? Commit to yourself to see it all the way through. You'll be proud of yourself for doing it. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.